Good morning, people. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, dawn of the day for October 7th, 2021. Yes, and the time is now 6:49 a.m. Yeah, I've been trying to get my device to come on. I've been having some challenges starting live streams. It's like it won't attach to the internet, you know. So yeah, it took me about 25 minutes. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to just introduce the dawn of the day. Yes, the sun, the daylight starts to come up about. You see, it change around 6:30, and so I gotta capture this. Yeah, I don't really know what I really want to talk about. Yeah, I did my live stream yesterday. Got a lot off my chest. And yeah, I stayed in yesterday. You know, sometimes your body just needs to rest. Look at my little boy here. Yeah, he was just stretching there. Yeah, that's lavender. Yeah, sometimes you just need a rest. I just wanted to more of precaution because I had, let's see, the, the day before my I had a headache at my temples, and I didn't know whether I was coming down with something. And I've been going out far, do my long walks at the park. And yes, good morning, people out there. Good morning, welcome, welcome. Yes, I'm just coming on now. It's always nice to see someone else coming, getting up early also, and celebrating the dawn of the day. It's very exciting because it's very symbolic that you have a bright day ahead of you. And it's peaceful. You can hear the birds chirp. I love hearing the birds chirp. I really do. Yeah, this is just a general talk. I'm just going to wing it. This reminds me a little, it's coming to my memory now. I used to live in Maui, the island of Maui. It's a part of Hawaii. And I had an early shift to get to work. I would get up, oh, what time was it? I think I'd get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, take my shower and everything, and then I would walk to work. It took a half an hour to walk to work, and it'd be very dark outside by the time I left. And I always felt safe, physically safe, walking the streets of Maui. This was actually a tourist strip, the part that I had to walk along what they call the front street. That's where all the tourist shops are and restaurants, and the water's right there. And there was a large tree, it's called the Banyan Tree, a humongous tree with many these runners. I don't know what the technical term you call them since it's a tree, but it would grow like new trunks all over. So you think it's a forest of different trees, but it's one tree planted, I think, in the 1700s. Yeah, so it's not indigenous to Hawaii, but it's flourishing there. Isn't that something? Something may not be um, local to an area, but it doesn't mean that it can't thrive there. Now, that's an interesting thought. Something may not be indigenous of a land, but it can thrive there. You ask yourself, are you thriving where you are? Are you thriving? A lot of people here in America, hey cheeseburger, how you doing? This is what you're asking. Okay. Okay, cheeseburger says, I watched your orb video. I did see some real orbs, but I'm worried for you. I think you have asbestos in your building. Tell someone there, please. Oh, please elaborate. What does orbs have to do with asbestos? Please elaborate. I've never heard that before. Never heard that before. Orbs and asbestos. This is a brand new building. This is a new building. Yeah, they know better for that, and it's inspected. You can see the asbestos dust floating in the air in your footage. Okay. Oh, you mean like the fiber one? Yeah. Well, they are doing a what do you call it? Oh, okay. Yeah, those two fiber. But those were big. Those are real big, and these are dimensional because see they come up and down. You know, they move in all different directions, and they could be moving with the other orbs. But good, you know, it's something that I could. Yeah, there are tremendous amount of orbs. Yeah, you should watch the very end, close to the very end of the video I did. Um, it was like a sea of orbs. Yeah, look at the very end, like the last 1 minute. I mean, for you to say, yes, I did see some orbs. Well, you must not have seen the very back cheeseburger, man. It was a sea of orbs. Yeah, take another look because, yeah, it was a lot of orbs. But I'll uh, keep that in mind about asbestos because that is a dangerous fiber. I do use an air filter. It's on even now as we speak. Yeah, and there is a building being that was torn down, made in the 1960s, I think, 60s or 70s. Oh no, maybe I forget now. I forget. Yeah, they tore it out from the root, literally. Yeah, they're going to build another high rise, a two tower, a short one like 9 stories, eight what was it, 6 or 8 stories, and the other one's going to be 30 something stories. But yeah, the concept of yeah, I'm just winging it right now. Um, you someone may not be indigenous to a place, but it does not mean that they cannot thrive there. Are you thriving where you are? This is just a rhetorical question for thought. You have people who may be indigenous to North America, or let's say just where I live now, New York City. You have people who are born and raised in New York City, but are you thriving? Are you thriving? And then there are people, they might be new birds, and they're doing well. So it's really something how life can work. And that type of phenomena is not the first in history. It can happen, it happens all the time. Um, I used to also live in the Caribbean. And I noticed that the people who do the best on that island, I used to live in St. Thomas, as I said, that's uh, one of several islands, it's the U.S. Virgin Islands. St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, or there's also Water Island, and other little islets, but the three major ones are St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix. And you have many people that are there generationally during the time of slavery. But you also have people who arrived, when I arrived there, um, relatively new. And I found that most of the people, the blacks who do live there from, there are a lot of people from other islands that moved to the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I find that the people who seem to do the best there, who were really thriving, were people from other islands, the British islands, Dominica. I met people from Dominica that was there. Yeah, the other Anglophone speaking islands there that moved there. They seem to do very well. Yeah, they build, they build houses. Black people there in the West Indies, they're builders. They build their homes. It's really interesting. It is a really interesting thing to see different types of black people. I hate to say it like that, but I mean, like, see, sometimes people may think that like where they live in America, United States of America, is like that everywhere. Like in New York City. Okay, a good example where I live, New York City. New York City, um, in my opinion, the people who are here generate, well, it is hard to find people who were brought as slaves, brought to New York City back in the day, during the time of slavery. They cannot locate any of them, though that generation of people. I mean, when I say that generation, people whose ancestors were brought to New York City as slaves. Most of the blacks that you see, they're from the South, and they migrated north. The Great Migration, it's called. And many of the people from the Southeast moved to the Midwest or the Northeast. So so they also live in New York City now. But I find that those who are, um, here, way back, ancestrally from, let's say, the Southeast, that now live in New York City area, um, a lot of poverty, I would say a lot of spiritual poverty, oppression. But I find that those who are from, let's say, the Caribbean, Latin America, they seem to be doing better in New York City. It seems like the opportunity, again, opportunities is also what you put into a matter. If you feel that something is not for you, you're not going to thrive there. But those who have that perseverance and hope, that helps a lot. And sometimes it's okay to just move. If a location, you feel a location is not working for you, rather than just struggling, maybe it's time for you to move. And I have to say that to myself also. And interesting also, when I moved to the Caribbean, I felt positive about the move. I moved because I felt that I would do better at a new location. The job market at that time seemed to be at a standstill. Yeah, I had to move twice from New York City because the job market. Yeah, I moved strictly for economic purposes. And initially it did serve me. So sometimes the energies of, I hate to sound so new agey, but sometimes the energy of the place is not for you. It's not working for you. It's like going against against gravity, you know, and it's a struggle. So sometimes life is just saying, hey, you may need to reconsider where you live, and maybe it might be best for you to move. And you find that somehow things open up for you in this new endeavor. And let's say those people, let's say like when I moved to Hawaii, let's say, and yeah, I found work within 2 weeks. Yeah, so I had a place to stay. Yeah, I had to do my homework too. I had, I had to look for a place. I initially made arrangements. I stayed at a guest house for the first 3 days, and then I had to look for a permanent, a long stay place. So they had magazines, things, periodicals, not periodicals, but like these flyers, and it has different places where you can for people who are visiting, places where you can stay, advertisements. So I look at the advertisements for apartments, or rooms. So I eventually, I found one. So I had a place to stay and a job by 2 weeks. Yeah, it took a lot of planning. I mean, it took a lot of work. But you have people who might have, let's say, left Maui when I arrived because maybe things closed for them. You know what I'm saying? So, um, one man's meat is another man's poison, so to speak. Yeah, so sometimes for one it's beneficial, and for another it's time for them to move on. So you have to ask yourself, is it time for you to move on? Is it time for you to move on? Let's see what else. Um, yeah, so I stayed in yesterday. I think more like a precaution because the day before yesterday, um, my head felt a little, I had some pain. But after I ate, the pain diminished. So maybe I was just a little dehydrated. I needed some food, you know. Yeah, sometimes, like out of the blue, I try to, as I tell you, try to drink my water. Oops, sorry about that. Yeah, so I have the rest of my tonic here. This has, let's see, ginger, clove, black seed. Where else? I put a little stevia in it. That's about it. I can't think of anything else I put. Yeah. And so I use it. Yeah, this is to help build my immune system. The clove is a very potent um, antioxidant, and the ginger is good for your GI. Oh, it's cinnamon also, a cinnamon stick in there also. So that's for, primary for the flavor, and warming the my GI, to soothe it. Yeah. So sometimes it's really weird. It could. I'm wondering whether it's the device. Like if I'm on my electronic device for long, I think it affects your hydration. It does. Maybe it's emitting too much something, and it dehydrates you. Because like all of a sudden, My mouth gets dry. I don't know. It gets real, real, real dry. So um, I think the best time for me, the best time for me to get hydrated is when I get up in the morning. Yeah, because this is a big drink. This is a one quart of water, and I use the filtered water, and so I feel okay. At least get let me get my first drink of the day. You know, my water early in the morning, so it could absorb in my system, and then I have my food. Yeah, I don't want if I have a lot of food in my stomach. I don't like drinking large quantities of water because it's going to be in my stomach forever. Yeah. So that's why I do what I do because it's like, the food might just stay there and drinking large quantities of water is just not, it's going to be slow digesting. Yeah, let me get a sip now. Yeah, it tastes wonderful. It tastes absolutely wonderful. Yeah. So this is, I take a cinnamon stick, clove, like about 8 cloves, black seed. Oh, what else? Ginger. Yeah, about 4 ingredients. Yeah. Um, and then I take hot water and let it steep, and then I strain it. And it's absolutely wonderful to take, for the first drink for the day, because it's very relaxing. It soothes your stomach, and warm water, um, it's better absorbed. Because if you drink cold, very cold water early in the morning, you're just getting up, it kind of freezes your GI, and it's not able to absorb the water as readily. So they said, take, warm water to, if you're going to drink something for the first time of the day, uh, that'd be warm, so it's gentle on your system. Yeah. So yes, I hope you guys watched uh, the video I did yesterday. I actually uploaded 2 videos. One was the live stream that I did early in the morning, and then I followed up with the orbs. Yeah, I was procrastinating for months with the orbs. Yeah, so yeah, I took like a sample of, yeah, see, I use what's called SVIS. It's a security camera that records, that could see in the dark, and that's what it was. What you were watching. So there's cameras in the house, and I started. Yeah, many of you might know this already. Um, Going on 2 years ago, it was on my birthday. I saw my first orb with my naked eye. It was one orb right off of my left cheek. I was watching a paranormal movie at the time, the movie Passengers and the movie Sixth Sense. I enjoy both of those movies, and I've watched those movies many times. But it always gets me those 2 movies, especially the Passengers. It's a it hits home. It hits close to home, that movie, and it always gets me emotional. And it was approaching, I think, 10 o'clock, I think, and I'm watching this. Well, I saw something reflect off my cheek. Yeah, those are along. What do you call it? Like a police or a fire truck. Yeah, you'll hear that a lot, people. So I apologize for that. Yeah, I live in a big city, and you'll hear police cars and fire engines all the time. Yeah, so going back to the orb thing. Um, yeah, so I saw a reflection off my cheek, my left cheek, and I was wondering, because I was watching the movie, looking at the monitor, and all the lights are out in my room. So I was wondering why would on the one side of my face have all this light? What's this light source? So I just moved my eyes downward to where I saw my first orb. It was a beautiful, beautiful, pure white orb, and you could actually see the light rays emanating from its center. It almost looked like pin needles, very thin needles, about a size of a marble, a child's marble, and it was floating an inch over my cheek, and it moved towards the front of my face, about an inch away from an inch away to the tip of my nose, to tip from my nose, and then it just disappeared. I was like, what? It was amazing, amazing, amazing. And I felt in my heart that the thing was trying to console me. That's how I felt. I did not feel any danger, anything like that. I felt that it was trying to show that it cared, and that it cared about how I felt about the movie. Yeah, people, watch that movie, uh, Passengers. It is a fantastic. I think the movie really hits home, that they really did their research on doing that movie. It's very similar to the movie Sixth Sense. Same type of, I mean, very similar, about um, someone who had passed on, but they did not know that they passed on, and their experiences in interacting with the physical world, and that it was actually more like a lesson of them overcoming the challenges that they had when they were alive, and they came to an enlightenment at the end of the movie. Yeah, I loved it. It always gets me emotional, always. But it's a fantastic movie, and I felt that it felt for me, and it was just trying. I think it's like giving me a kiss on the cheek. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. I never experienced anything like that. Again, it's like at nighttime, all the lights are out, so I was able to see it so clearly. It was crystal clear. It was just such beauty, and then it just vanished. And I was like, wow. But I felt comforted. Once I saw that, once I saw the orb. Yes, good morning, viewers. Good morning. Yes, you're all coming on. Good morning, good morning, good morning. But yes, once I experienced that, I just um, I just felt comforted. And I said, wow, what was that all about, you know? And I thought about that orb for one whole year. And I said, I wonder whether it'll come back again on my birthday. So I bought this device. Um, yeah, so actually I bought two devices. One was the body cam that I use often, but it no longer could record in the dark. So it can just record in the it cannot record in infrared anymore. Sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, I'm back on. So so the body cam last year, Yeah, it was temporarily working. And on my birthday, within 24 hours of my birthday, um, I had the camera set up, and I was just talking to the universe. I had it on all night. It could record up to 10 hours. And 2 days later, I decided to look at that video, look at the what it captured. I think I was just too nervous to look at it the same day. And I just needed, some time in between. So I looked at it 2 days later to see what footage it took. And lo and behold, orbs. And one was a real tiny orb that moved close to my face, I think it was. Looked like it was the same size as the one that visited me the year prior. But yes, so now I had evidence. I had evidence that it wasn't my imagination. Again, I do not do drugs. I do not drink alcohol. Um, I needed that proof that there is such thing as orbs. So yeah. So then later on, I did buy the device, the what do you call it? The security camera. It's real inexpensive. The one I got. I got the Easy VIZ, and it's only $20. About $20. It was 19.99, and I set it up, uploaded the app, and I was able to review it. I said, "Oh my goodness." Yeah, so it seemed like it was a lot of orb activity the month of December, January, and February. Really interesting. So I wonder what's going on in the planet at that time for so much activity. And then I briefly dismantled the security camera for about a month. Because remember, people, I had uh, discontinued my internet service at the home for 1 month period because I needed some time off for the internet because I have pain in my neck. So I did put back service on after a month. So September 1st of this year, 2021, I put my internet service back on. But I do have the security camera reinstalled, but I see that the activity, orb activity, is not the same. It changed. I hardly see any orbs now on the camera. So it's really interesting. So, any of you have experiences with orbs? Any of you? Have any of you ever seen orbs with your naked eye? Or you too have a camera, a security camera that could record in darkness and record phenomena? Yeah. So it's really interesting what's happening spiritually, in that realm. And as you see with the video, sometimes like you see them blinking. You know what they look like? You ever see some of those videos online, on YouTube, on spacecrafts in the sky? Don't some of them look like orbs? And they'd be blinking on and off? Remember with what do you call it, NASA? When with those space, what was that, Apollo? Was it Apollo? I forget now which one it was, but they had someone was in the rocket was in space and it was recording out the window, and you saw things blinking on and off. And I said to myself, those look like orbs. And again, they are recording in darkness, so maybe the similarities when you're using an infrared camera, how it reflects, how it looks like on after you record it, it looks very similar. But they look like orbs, the ones that I've been recording. Very interesting. So my birthday is in 2 months, a little less than 2 months, and I'm hoping, yes, I'm hoping I hope I get another visitation of that little baby orb. It looked adorable. Again, I don't know what they are, but I'm wondering, people, see, you have a big world out there, and you don't hear people talk about this. I'm not the only one that has a security camera. Am I the only one in the world that has a security camera? Of course not. So how come you don't hear more about it? How come you don't hear people talking about it? Why am I the only one that seems to be talking about these orbs? What is the purpose of orbs? What can they teach us? That's what I'm wondering. What can they teach us? How to communicate with them? Why are they there? Why are they there? Very interesting. Yeah, it's so it reminds me that you're never really alone. You have people who you know what you can do? Yeah, see, it's reminding me you're never really alone, people. And that when you start feeling alone, especially during the time of, you know, of this pandemic, and you want to talk to someone, hey, you can get a security camera with your app attached to it, and talk to the universe, and have the app on, and you could watch yourself live, as like right now my camera's on, and I could get my other device and look at it as I am talking. And you could see them. Remember before I did a video, oh, I think it was in February of this year. It was me near my mirror in my living room, and I was setting up the camera, and I had my device in my hand. And so as I'm positioning the camera, and looking at my device to make sure I'm positioning the camera at the angle I wanted to be in, where I was going to be seated, I see the baby orb, and it looked like it was like almost like a bee, coming at me. It was amazing, and so I'm watching live this phenomenon. Yeah, yeah, it's up on my yeah, it's up on this channel, Spirit Journey. But I also have it on my what do you call it? Oh, what do you call it now? Oh, my I have another channel called Orb Whisperer. Orb Whisperer is just my orb experiences, videos that I've captured, and so it's on that one. So if ever you just want to just see orbs and just kind of veg out, just because some of them I have music to it. Like the one I did yesterday, I have music to accompany the video. So you could just turn it on and watch it, and let me know what you think. I'm thinking that, see, if you become sensitized to the possibility of orbs, maybe you might be able to see them too. You understand what I'm saying? That see, sometimes it's like if you don't believe something could exist, even when it's in front of your face, you will not see it. because you don't want to see it. So I think to watch videos like the ones that I uploaded yesterday on the orbs, that it will sensitize you to believe that it does exist. I again, it's the only editing I did to the video was I added music to it, and the actual audio I turned off because I want you to focus on the orbs. Yeah, so I think you going out. I mean, I think it's a possibility. Let me know. You know, this, think of this like an experiment. You say, hey, I wonder, are there orbs out there? Let's say you were thinking about somebody that you love. Maybe they passed away or something, or maybe you might have an angel. Well, some people believe in guardian angels, right? Some people believe in Jesus, right? So, what if you set up your camera and you have your app and you do your prayers? Will you get visited by God, by Jesus, or your angel, your guardian angel, or your, what do you call it, your ancestor? All these people. People. You have people with different belief systems, right? And some things you cannot see with your naked eye, but you can see it with an infrared camera. Hello, people. Yeah, it's about using the scientific approach to seeing the paranormal. Because people will say, oh, that doesn't really exist, or this and that. Now, I showed in my video, good morning, viewers, good morning, good morning. Yes, I welcome you to say hello in the chat room. Yeah, I'm talking about the orbs right now. I'm just winging this live stream. I didn't know what I was going to talk about. Right now, I'm talking about the orbs. Yeah, I uploaded the video on orbs yesterday. And I would love to get your feedback. Again, I have this channel, Spirit Journey, that you're watching on. And I have my other channel called Orb Whisperer that's just dedicated to orbs. And I've been procrastinating on uploading the different clips I got. Yeah, so what I uploaded yesterday on the orbs was various clips that I gathered from April to July of this year, 2021. And I really hope you enjoyed it. And I hope it could inspire you to be a scientist too. There's scientists out there, and you could be your scientist, and you could ask yourself questions about these orbs. Who are they? Where do they come from? Are you able to communicate with them? Are they friend or foe? You could come up with your own questions. Set up a camera like the one I have. It's $20. And you can set it up to different locations in your home. Or you could just set it up when you want, let's say, to do a prayer session. Let's say you want to do a meditation session. And maybe you want to see if you're able to capture different things as you're meditating, to see if there's outside influences that are affecting your ability to uh, see things with your third eye. Yeah, I don't do as much of the same type of meditation because I get up early because I was getting up early to walk my dogs, as many of you will know. Um, I did a little bit yesterday. I really do find the best meditation to actually see something is first thing in the morning when you're waking up. And that's what I was doing for a couple of years. And I find it very effective. Very, very effective. Yeah. Um, as I explained before, let's say you're sleeping and you awaken uh, in the daytime, let's say you sleep in the night, you wake up in the morning, you keep your eyes closed. Okay, that's a key thing. Um, you keep your eyes closed and you just relax and you stare, even though your eyelids are closed. It's as if you're looking at your eyelids. Pretend that your eyelids is a screen, like a movie screen, and an image is going to appear on the surface of that screen of your eyelids, your closed eyelids, and just stare straight into it as if like you're to look at something, and you will see something. It's amazing, people. It is amazing the things that I saw during this meditation session. And what's really interesting is that I'm not um, I'm not like saying, okay, I'm awake, I want to see such and such. I'm not doing a damn thing. I'm not saying or wanting to, I'm not saying, okay, I want to see a particular thing. No, I just kind of just go with the flow, just relaxing with my eyes closed, and it seems like it bridges like the dream, like because you come out of the dream state and then you're awake, but the gap between those two realms, your awake state and your dream state, I believe, I'm speculating because I don't know, but I believe what's happening is that that little gap in between those two realms, that's what's allowing me access to see with my third eye what I'm seeing. I've seen locations. Hey, how you doing? Okay, I haven't seen you before. Let's see. Dear a night. Okay, I don't even know how to pronounce it. A cheeseburger. Okay, I didn't see. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cheeseburger. Yes. Yes, yes. Peace and love to you. Oh, okay. They're a nice one. Yeah. Yes. So, yeah, it's a interesting experiment that you can do, and it doesn't cost anything. Yeah. So the next time, let's say you're taking a nap, you tell yourself, okay, when you wake up, that you're going to keep your eyes closed. I mean, you could even move in your bed. You could scratch your nose, whatever, you know, uh, to convince you that yes, you are awake. But you're just going to lie there in bed with your eyes closed, and you stare at your eyelids. Just look straight forward. And what would start to happen is sometimes you see what looks like a cloud, and sometimes the color could intensify and get like a sometimes it stays like what the clouds here look like, something like that. Or sometimes it has like a bluish tinge to it, and then it starts to get clear, and then you see the image. It seems like that cloud, or what I call a cloud or energy thing, that's where the image comes out from. That's where it comes out from. And sometimes you don't see any cloud, and the image just happens. Yeah, I've seen people, like I was looking at a monitor. It made no sense. I've never seen these people. I saw a man, woman, and child, and I discussed about this. Yeah, I have a playlist of the visions, what I call my visions or my closed eye visions. Everything that I see is with my eyes closed. I've never seen anything with my eyes open that is of a, what do you call, a third eye type of thing. It's always with my eyes closed and I see something. And I don't get any audio. I've never gotten audio. Um, and it changed over time. The first time I meditated was like in the daytime. Um, I was awake and everything. I was up out of bed and I was just doing things. And I said, hey, let me do an experiment. Let me do a meditation. And I sat down at my living room and I think I lit a candle, put incense, and I closed my eyes. And I back then in those days, that was in 2014. April 2014 was the first day I meditated. And I saw geometric shapes, these colors. It looked like a string, like a string of colors that was moving like waves. And then I saw a man's face. I don't know who that man was. It was really, really interesting. Very, very interesting. And as I continue over the days, um, what I was seeing was getting more elaborate. You know, it was saying I was seeing geometric shapes, and the colors were primarily red and green. Yeah, red and green, and it had a little dot like rectangles, thin rectangle shaped colors, with a dot, a black dot in the center. And the man that I saw, I don't know who he was, but to me, he looked like a face from the past, like I don't know why I think the 1800s, 17, 1800s. I'm thinking he didn't look like a very modern, Caucasian, very angular features. Um, he looked like the man. He reminded me of the man, like the movie with Johnny Depp, uh, Pirates of the Caribbean. He had like a sidekick in the movie. Um, I think his last name is Bloom, Blum. Young fellow. He had a face like that. The shape of his face, looked something like him. It was really interesting, really, really interesting. And he had a slight, okay, the vision of the guy you just saw from like the neck up, and he was looking just straight ahead at me. My eyes again are closed. And when that happened, I said to myself, "Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid." That's how I had to tell myself because I didn't want to get fearful. He didn't say anything. He was just looking at a blank stare. And it had a slight greenish, yellowish greenish appearance to it. Not that his coloring per se, not his skin color, but I mean like when you use infrared cameras or night goggles, don't you notice that it has like a slight greenish, yellowish greenish tinge to it? That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. Okay, well, let me read the comments now. Okay. Oh, okay, the real nice one. Oh, okay, I got it. The real nice one. Okay. Yes, welcome, the real nice one. Okay, they're saying, this is real. You're right about that state in between being woke and sleep. Have you ever seen any of your chakras when you're meditating? Grand Rising, my sister. Okay. Hey, how you doing, Nubian? Yes. Okay. No, I've never seen any of my chakras. That would be interesting. But you know what I did see before? Interesting. It's just coming to my memory now. I this happened. I think 2 years. It was before COVID. It was before COVID. So it could have been 2018. I think it was 2018. Um, I was taking a nap in my bed, and it was a weekend, and it was like very cloudy outside. I had my curtains closed, so it was kind of, no light was on my in my room, so it was kind of on the darker side. And I'm in a light, I'm meditating, like I'm conscious, had my eyes closed. I was just relaxing in bed, and I saw. I mean, I know this sounds weird, people. Um, I saw myself looking back at me. Now, even though I'm lying down in bed, this thing was standing and looking in my direction. Like again, my eyes are closed. My head was tilted to the right, and I'm just looking at my eyelids, as I was telling you. And the appearance came. It was very three dimensional. It was bright. It was as if the light was on, because the person I'm looking at is fully illuminated. And what I said to myself was, wow, that looked just like me. I'm thinking out loud to myself. I mean, I'm thinking to myself. I didn't verbalize, it was all mental. I said to myself, boy, that person, that looks just like me. And it even has, get this was funny. I said, it even has a messy hair like I have, because my hair was kind of messy. Yeah, because I'm not sleeping on it and everything. I said, why, it even has messy hair like I have. And I saw a lot of skin on me. I'm just looking at it, with closed eyes. It looks real. It was smiling. It had a little smile on the face. Um, and then it disappeared. Now I thought, this is what I thought. It lasted for maybe 5 seconds, maybe a little longer, no more than 10 seconds. I was thinking that maybe I astral projected and was looking in the mirror at myself. That's what I thought, because I did do a video about the incident, and it's on my playlist, my visions and dream playlist that I have. So, any of you ever want to hear about some of the things that I've seen, um, you're welcome to look at it. It's all for free, and you just, you look on the playlist under visions or visions dream, and you could look on, you could look at the most recent, or you could say, hey, let's see what her first video was. So you can do a sort on it. You could look at the ones that are the most popular, or to look at the oldest one first, or you could look at the newer one first, whatever which one that how you want to look at it. Yeah, I saw many things. And at the time when I did the video about it, I thought what happened was maybe um, my consciousness was looking in my mirror in my room. And so that's why I looked like what I looked like, you know. But in hindsight, I said, wait a minute. When I saw that image appear, I didn't see any mirror, because my mirror, you would see the frame of the mirror, um, but I saw it against the white background where my closet is. Yeah, the background looked white. So I said, hey, was it the mirror that I was looking through? I don't think so, because there was no mirror. So I thought that was interesting. That was my most. amazing, amazing uh, uh, apparition. I can't even pronounce it right now. But yeah, it's the first time something like that ever happened. I mean, it looked very real, 3D, and it was lit. And how could it be lit? Because the room was dark. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pitch black. You know, like when it's cloudy outside in the daytime and your curtains are closed. And you know how it is in the room. It's going to be darker. But this thing was very bright. It was amazing. It was an amazing event. Yeah. So that's why, so I realized your mind, the human mind, is very, very powerful. And so why I share uh, these incidences is because I want to encourage you that you too could use your mind, that you too could go beyond what people tell you what you're supposed to experience. See, a lot of things we don't experience because people are told, oh, that it's evil, that it's demonic. To use your mind is not evil or demonic. Evil is what you do. Evil is um, your intent to harm others. But love is something that is about seeking the good of, of yourself or others. To use your mind to think beyond what you're being told. See, it's a program going on. I was heavily programmed as a child. I think we all are. This world programs people through television primarily. Television. Now it's the internet. There was the radio. I was into watching the radio. Many of the things that you learn about yourself is through those mediums. Television, me growing up, had a very, very heavy influence on me. And it was not a good influence at all. It teaches you, um, especially if you're a black person, it teaches you that you're not worthy, that there's something wrong with you. It teaches people to feel ashamed about their bodies. It teaches you that other people are better than you because of just what they are. And they're all lies. And now the internet is teaching lies about people, lies about the news. These things are all programs. That's why uh, I go outside in nature because see they use what they call the G5. Oh, I'm sorry, 5G. That frequency. Why are they using all these frequencies? Because they want to use your body to like your body is like a robot. They want to control your body. Your body is just a like a vehicle. Your mind is not in this body, and they're aware of that. Who you are, I believe it's so true that your body is just like a receptor, like a car, like a vehicle, like a truck. And like the movie Avatar, what was happening there? They understand the concept of the avatar, the body just being a vehicle. Your mind of operation is just driving the vehicle slash your body. So why is it that what permits you to have visions? Or let's say people who do astral projection, or let's say people who can what they call remote view. What are these things? How are you able to see these different things? because it's different frequencies, like a radio. Remember the radio, people? Remember the radio? Your clock radio, whatever. It's one apparatus. It's one radio, but it has many stations, people. And you can experience the different stations on that radio according to what you are tuned in onto. What are you tuned in onto? That's all what meditation is all about. That's all what meditation is to be able to dial into different frequencies through the state of your brain, your brain waves. Your brain wave is just a receptor to translate different energy slash frequencies that are out there. Everything that you see is a frequency. David Icke, the researcher, also talks about this, about different frequencies, that you cannot experience those things if your body does not, um, what do you call it, interpret it. If your body, if your senses cannot perceive it, it won't be there. If um, if 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 I'm looking and let's say this building, this big building in front of me, if I cannot receive the frequency of that building, it won't be there. So everything is like, what he's saying is that it's a frequency, and if you're not tuned into it, you will not see it. Your body is just a receptor. So where is the real you? And that's what's really interesting about meditation. Where is the real you? I've had visions. I saw individuals. Oh, wait. Let me back up. Yeah, I did see individuals that I didn't know, but in particular, what was that? I saw myself in a different location. Um, Sometimes I was outside. I was outside this big building. Sometimes I was inside some type of building. Never seen this place. I don't know where these locations are. But what I'm thinking, people, is that are we living multiple lives simultaneously? Right now, I'm in this awareness slash frequency, and I'm able to interact with the people who share the same frequency. Well, let's say when you do a meditation, your mind could then tune in on a different frequency slash like your radio. Like when you play the radio, you can hear the noise outside, what's going on outside of this window, and yet I can still play the radio and hear that too. So the same thing as meditation. I can still hear what's going on in this realm, what's going on in my room. If my little doggy here, if my dog starts to bark or whatever, I could still hear that. But it's what you're focused on. What are you focused on? The thing that you're more focused on, and that's going to be the dominant thing you're going to experience. And so I had a vision, that I was like at a different location. And one of them, yeah, this one was really interesting. I was outside, what it looked like, as if, what it seemed like what was happening, that I was outside this building. I couldn't see it in detail. It was more like a background. I was on what looked like a very large driveway. Like like some hotels, they have that big driveway. It's like a round shape, so allow the taxis to come up and out. It was like that, and I'm on that driveway, And what it seemed like I did not see me, I didn't see the viewer, so to speak. It's like my eye, like I was borrowing the eyes of the person or being that's there in that dimension, and that I had it seemed like I had a device in my hand, like an I like a phone, like a smartphone, and with the smartphones you could take videos. So I was like, I held it up in the air and then I held it down on the ground, um, and I said to myself, I'm acting as if I'm looking through a device or a camera, let's say, like a regular camera. But it's like I am the one that's operating it. I don't actually see a device. I just am experiencing the screen. You just see it. The image. You don't see the device. You just see the image and looking, going up, looking, aiming it downward, things like that. Like I'm interacting with something that must be in my hand. Again, I don't see my hand or anything like that. You just see that you're looking at something and zooming in, zooming out. I mean, pulling back. It's really weird. That was really interesting, and it looked real. It looked like oh, I'm trying to remember. It could have been more, seem more like two like looking like how you would look at like a TV. It's not three-dimensional when you look on a TV screen. But you see it, it might be clear, but it's not like three-dimensional. But sometimes I where I was looking, it seemed three-dimensional, like I'm physically there. And I've never been to those places before. I don't know where it was. So these are some of the things that, I share this with you. Um, I share this with you because to let you know that your mind is powerful. Your mind is very, very powerful. And I'm not anyone special. I'm just like you. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I just close my eyes. That those are all early morning visions. Upon awakening from a deep sleep, and saw what I saw. It's amazing. It is amazing. So I think because of these things, the starting with the meditation things, um, I think it made me more sensitized to, that there's other worlds out there, other realities. If you just live in a place and you never leave your house, you never talk to anybody, you're going to be limited in your experiences. And just because you limited experiences doesn't mean that there's nothing else out there. There is a big world. There are things that are so big. And I think what's happening now with this pandemic, it's like they want to, they're trying to race. Again, this is just my thoughts. I don't know whether it's true or not, but how I'm reading the signs of the times, that you have someone who's racing to control humanity. You have people who are in power, who are corrupt. And like I was watching videos yesterday on, oh, what is it? His name is Moro Biglio. Biglio or Biglino. Italian man. And yeah, Moro is spelled Mauro. Big, Big. I think its name is Latin. Biglio, Biglio, something like that. Yeah, it's on YouTube. And he's just someone who knows ancient languages, ancient Hebrew, uh, things like that. And he was asked by the Vatican to translate these what's called the Messianic, something like Messianic, I can't pronounce it, something like that, some scriptures. And he realized in his, if you only interpret what the word means, not adding to it what the word actually means, and he came to the conclusion that the world was invaded by other beings, beings from other worlds or whatever where they're from, and that they infiltrated humanity. And you know, the book of Genesis in the Bible, just look at chapter 6 of Genesis. I think chapter 6, verse number 6, about the interaction of these other beings interacting with the women of that day. See, they want you to read the Bible how they want you to interpret. They have a so to speak, like a filter on how you are to interpret or understand the scriptures. That they try to like spiritualize certain things like it's not really real. They just gloss right over it. Genesis. What's really going on in the book of Genesis? What's really going on? How could you spiritualize someone who is instructed to kill somebody? How is that holy? They call it cognitive dissonance. That you can make something and justify that is okay, that is logical. It's illogical. How could someone be a God, be God, but require you to do uh, sacrifice through fire and to kill all these animals? How is that? How would God need your chickens? How could this? You know what I'm getting at? Really start thinking. If a neighbor did what they were reading in the Bible, wouldn't you think that's an evil neighbor? Hey, let's go in a neighborhood and just kill all the people and keep the lady and the young girls for yourself, for your wife. A little girl for your wife? Hello? How perverted could you get? And we read this. I've read the Bible. I've read Genesis. But Genesis and Revelation are my favorite chapter, your favorite books of the Bible. Genesis and Revelation. And I've read them over and over and over again. And I thought it was normal what I was reading. But this YouTuber helped me open my eyes to what's really going on in the Bible. Yeah, cheeseburger. Yeah, yeah, cheeseburger. Those are my favorite books of the Bible. I find it fascinating, and I would tend to agree that that YouTuber was um, the main person that I mean I was already kind of searching, but in 2014, this YouTuber shared something to her viewers, and it had me in shock. I was already searching, sort of, but when she said what she said, and she has a book, it shocked me. And even to this day, I still haven't finished reading it. It was too much for me. Um, but yeah, a lot of other researchers are coming to the same conclusion about the Bible, that the Bible is really about um, extraterrestrials, beings from other worlds, whether it be from other planets, they could be from other dimensions, and that there are given technologies to the people here on this planet. And some of the people on this planet might be what they call hybrids. Remember also in Genesis it talks about, remember, the sons of God uh, mated with the daughters of man. What is that really talking about? It's talking about these beings from other worlds taking the women here and having children with them. What is that about, like the kings and queens on the planet? Don't they say that it's through divine rule? Divine rule has to do with those aliens that had children with the earthlings. And it's those offspring, those mixed race, or I call it mixed, genetics, are the ones that are given the power to rule. Why, throughout history, do you have people who are being enslaved, and you have those kings and queens, and they get the resources? Like, isn't that what slavery was all about in the 1500s through 1800s? That they kidnap people, force labor on them. What do they need all those resources for? Maybe it was, again, to send those raw materials to those ships or those underground bases. You think slavery is a new phenomenon? It's in the Bible. Slavery has always been around in this planet. I believe this is a slave planet. This is a slave planet. And it has its rulers or its representatives here on this planet. And I think those rulers like Gates and those other rulers, what they're all about. They're not human. They don't act human. These are people who are billionaires. And to start, I'm not going to say the word, okay? Because I know I can't say certain things. But just look at what those people are. People like Gates. What is he? What were his parents? And the other people. And you find many of these people seem to come from certain backgrounds. What is that guy on Facebook? The guy who started Facebook. What is he? Who is Kissinger? Who are these people? And then you ask yourself, what do they all have in common? What do they all have in common? That is my clue. I'm not going to say it. Why is it that they seem to be in positions of high power? And even when you do their genetics, that they have the what they call the smart gene. Yes, they have the smart genes. Why they do so well? I mean, I know it sounds bad, but just hear me out. If you have people from another world and they rule and they have a higher intelligence than you, and then they breed, oops, sorry, and they breed with certain people, maybe because of whatever reason, and they only use those people to do their bidding, They put them in seats of power. They give them land, and then they oppress everybody else. And you have to work for you have to do labor for them. What is this labor all about? What is it all about? I'm wondering. I think there are multiple things happening at once. In my opinion, I think there are multiple events happening at once. I think some of it is, those beings from what they talk about in the Bible are in rule today, but you may have other beings that live, I believe, under, like you hear about these underground bases. You have all these people talk about these underground bases. Who live in these underground bases? Could they be beings? And that's what I think. And I think a lot of the labor, or I think a lot of the labor that's being abused right now, you have a lot of what they call human trafficking. See, that's a nice way of saying slaves or slavery or slave trafficking. See, they only want you to think that only black people were slaves. No, slavery is your status. Slavery is a status that you have. It doesn't mean having dark skin. Anybody could be a slave. They don't need shackles on your neck. They have electronic shackles. Technology change. You don't need the same type of devices to hold people in bondage. Isn't that what MK Ultra was all about? You don't need change. You just oppress their mind. And you notice all the people that seem to be involved in MK Ultra, just look at what their background is. What is it all about? Why is the same people doing the same things over even today? Look at those people who are involved regarding the this whole pandemic. Look at their last names, and you come to your conclusion where they're coming from and what they might be related to. So some of these, I think some of the people might be being kidnapped to go to these underground bases. I think some of them are being ritually abused, right? And maybe some of them are being taken off planet. Remember about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I interviewed, um, what's his name? Tony Rodriguez. And he claimed that he was kidnapped as a child and worked in different bases and off planet bases as well. Remember that, people? Again, that's what he was saying, and many others. The secret space and super soldier programs. You have people who claim that they were uh, abused as children, that they were trafficked by their families, some of them, or some of them might have been taken, like, let's say you go to school, and then the teachers take them and bring them to a remote area, and they get abused. And here their parents don't know anything what's going on. Or some of them say that they were like extraterrestrial, that they saw what they call the grays, that they were taken and abused and experimented on. Again, whether these things is happening to them mentally, or is it happening to them spiritually, or is it actually physically being experimented on? That I don't know. But again, you have these genres. You have these genres out there of people claiming being kidnapped or being taken in their sleep. Um, it's something going on. And right now, it's like they're trying to, what do they call it, the reset. You have people, like they're using, in my opinion, this whole pandemic. It's I think it started I mean, I think it was going to happen regardless. I think with number 45, that's what I'll say. Number 45, that when he was his administration wasn't going along with the New World Order type of thing. And he said, America first. Well, that signified to those other authorities that he wasn't going to play ball with them. And so they did a smear campaign against number 45. And they made sure that he did not win the new election. So they put in someone that will follow the program. And let me tell you this, and I've said this before, that it seems like these people who are higher up, that once they use you, they throw you out. And this is why I say, like Governor Cuomo, he was the governor of New York, the state of New York. Now, last year, him as governor was considered a hero, how he handled the pandemic. He had a book, he got a book out, and he won an Emmy Award. Okay? So he was the golden boy all of last year. And then, boom, this year, he was thrown out. He was forced to resign and to get this woman in. And all of a sudden, she's saying, and trying to enforce people to get the jibby jabby jab, right? Now New Yorkers are, you see that on the internet? New Yorkers now are fighting back. They're starting to protest against the jibber jabs. And the current governor, the woman, she's saying to the healthcare practitioners that if you don't get the jibber jabber jab, that we will fire you and replace you with foreigners and the military also. Isn't that something? Isn't that coercion? And I tell you this, that person is going against the Nuremberg laws that it's an international law. The Nuremberg laws is international, and that person, that governor, is in violation of those laws. You have to have informed consent. Informed consent on any type of experimentation and what is the goal, and they have to also participate in it. The person who's telling you to do it, telling you to, whatever what it is, you have to have informed consent. And if it's found to hurt someone, they have to stop it. But they're not. They see that it's hurting us. It's hurting people. It's hurting you. And they're also doing in New York City, I would believe that it's the whole state, that medical treatment. The pharmacies here are they do not have certain medications because they don't want you to use it to treat yourself. And I shared the other day that I had to call my primary care physician at the VA hospital because I wanted to find out, hey, if I get sick with this thing, what do I do and where do I go get treated for it? And she says there's no treatment for it, and if you really get sick, then and have to be hospitalized, we'll give you such and such. But I told her that that such and such I heard causes organ failure. And over 90% of the people who get incubated, that's that tube down their throat, over 90% of them die. They go on it. Do not get incubated. Do not get incubated. In New York, over 90% of the people who get incubated die. So um, do not get it. So I was really concerned that, the doctor also said, my primary care physician said, that none of the hospitals have that prophylactics, those uh, drugs that you can take at the early stage of this thing in your body. So what are people supposed to do? Why wait for something to get worse? Doesn't make sense. I believe they're trying to cause as many casualties. Yeah, this is a war, right? And I do watch alternative news. And I was watching yesterday, all day yesterday, about it. And it's really something. The videos of the people who are uh, working in the science field, they had videos of what they were saying about what they wanted to create, and that to use uh, those things to cause infection and use it as a weapon. You see, I have to be very careful how I word things. Yeah, watch. Again, many people may not like the individual, but I do listen to Alex Jones. I do listen to a lot of his, he has guest speakers. Oh, he's going to have something tonight, actually, about the jibber jab. And let's see, New York time, Central time is 7 p.m. Yeah, it'd be 7 p.m. this morning, Central time, like in Texas. So New York would be 8 o'clock. Yeah, I want to see that. They're just going to show part one. He has a video that came out, and they're going to just show part one for free. But he is selling the DVD. Um, yeah, when you actually hear what they're saying, these leaders, self-appointed leaders. See, I believe these leaders are part of a whole system of people who want to abuse, people who want to get rid of people. They don't love people. These people for them to think and want to just commit genocide, they must have had a horrible life. I used to be in the business world. I was in the investment banking, um, stocks and bonds, things like that, just as a support staff. I wasn't high up, anything like that. But I worked in the industry for a number of years in the legal department. And I worked with they had money. I mean, um, they were making money. Yeah, I used to work for Solomon Brothers downtown, right in Building 7, World Trade Center. And yeah, bless you, baby. My little boy sneezed. But yeah, I used to work for Solomon Brothers in the legal department. It was a good job. Bless you. I left it. They were the politics that was happening there, and evil people. Yeah, the director of that department. Um, they try to intimidate you. They try to frighten you, and then they got the nerve to ask me to help them. Like when their secretaries were out, I had to fill in. I mean, the work was easy. It was easy work, but it was the behavior. And I said, I'm out of here. I yeah, I left. So what I'm bringing up is that you have people in high places. You have these people, rich people, and they're not nice people. They're not nice. They're not nice. When you go up the ladder, they get nastier and nastier in their behavior. They're haters. I don't know how they got like that. I can understand a poor person being mean, but when you're rich like that, I wonder, are these the what they call the lizard, the reptile people? They don't act human. There is no love in them. And so I resigned from that job. Yes, I did. I did. And yeah, and then I eventually did leave New York City, and then I came back just before the 9/11 thing happening. It was about maybe 6 weeks before 9/11, and I tried to get my old job back. I went there 2 weeks before 9/11, and wow, who would have ever thought? I went in the building. They just allowed me in the lobby. They said no one is allowed upstairs if you don't work here. So I left my resume at the lobby and asked them to send it to their human resources there at that company. And 2 weeks later, boom, everything happened. And seeing that building collapse like that, Building 7 was the one that it didn't get hit by any plane, but it disintegrated. It just collapsed on itself. Yeah. So it was interesting that life was telling me, you're not meant to go back in that field. You're not meant to go there. Yet things happen for a reason, and sometimes things close very dramatically in your life. And I think my seeing the different orbs is showing me that there's a different realm that they want to introduce me to. That don't be so preoccupied with the with materialism. Because again, I worked with people who made a lot of money, who had access to money and power, and they were not nice people, and they were not happy. So I think these were spiritual lessons that I had to be showed that, see, some people run after materialism, and some people say, I'm not happy, and they might seek out spirituality. So that's why I go outside a lot. Like I try to go into nature because it's very comforting. I mean, it's not the answer of answers, but it's shown me that to be one with what sustains you. Um, even these devices. See, so technology. I'm learning that technology is just that. It's a crutch, and it's really something that is designed to enslave. That's what I'm learning, in my opinion. Again, everybody has their own opinion, but what in this walk that I'm doing now, um, I worked in many different fields, and the conclusion is that this materialism is just a means to control you. It gets people fighting each other for more and more resources, and you don't get better, you get worse. And so now people want you to think, okay, that civilization is a curse. What the Bible is all about What the Bible and the scriptures are all about is about civilization, as they call it, the beginning of civilization, the land of Sumer and Ur. These were the headquarters of the controllers of the planet. These were their headquarters, the rulers of the planet. When they came down, according to the Bible, because they were visited, remember? See, everybody likes to say that they're religious and read the Bible, but do they really believe what it says in Genesis about the different peoples when they were visited, right? And so, what happened? Yeah, they're visited, and then all of a sudden, that's when it seems like humanity was taking control over. Humanity was taken over. When those beings came down, when the sons of man came to the daughters, I mean, the sons of God came down to the son of the daughters of men, the daughters of men, that's when the enslavement began. That's what the story is about. Or look at Adam and Eve, a being made of man in his likeness. And then this snake came along. So one oppressor, and then by default, a new oppressor. And it's all about doing for them the work. Remember, they were to work in the garden? So they're on a plantation, people. See, we use different. See that? Adam and Eve were slaves in a plantation. See, they don't use that terminology. They were told to work the field, and it was stipulations. They give them food and clothes, food and resources, but they better obey. And if they don't, they're going to be, you know, consequences. What does that sound like? Does that sound like freedom? So Genesis and the Bible is all about foreigners, foreigners from other worlds or other dimension, whatever, or underground, and they've taken advantage of people, and then having other people, the mixed genetics, to serve as kings and queens, right? So, and so civilization throughout the Bible and in modern times is really a reverse. It's not there to help you. Look at the food. Now the food is becoming artificial, yet it's supposed to be technology. You have these electronic devices that give you bad eyesight, that radiates the body. You have chemtrails. Why do you need that? You have the jibber jabs being forced upon you. Civilization is a curse. Civilization introduced the monetary system. You see my dogs? Let's see, that's one of my dogs. Does he require to take money and get food? No. Do gorillas and monkeys, do they require to get the wallet out to get their food? No, but you are. If we're so-called superior to these other life forms on this planet, how come you're the one that's in real bondage? You don't have money, you can't get food. What is this? Technology, or let's say to get to work. Do you know, like after World War II, like in the United States, they created what they call the suburbs. Most people back then, during World War II, I think they said 70% of the population in the United States lived on some type of farm in rural areas. Most people lived on rural areas. And then they create, then after the war, they were developing, they were creating developments, what they call the suburbs. Did you know in many of these suburbs, they don't have sidewalks? I'll repeat. Many of these suburbs that were designed for the people after the war, to set up families, because now, a lot of people died during the war. Now they wanted like a restart. It was a new restart. People were having children back then. So they developed houses. So when the soldiers came home, they had the GI Bill and all these other things, right? But no sidewalks. Why would you develop something and have no sidewalks? Well, because see, they were doing social engineering. They were doing social engineering. And they wanted people to be dependent on technologies. The Industrial Revolution, industry, manufacturing. And they knew they wanted people to be dependent on certain technologies. So they said, okay, we're going to build houses here, what we're going to call the suburbs, but they're going to be required to buy cars now, because now you have industry, right? There's a booming industry, the car manufacturers. So now they don't want people to walk. They wanted the job site and where they live to be far away from each other. Why is that? You should live where you work. That's how it always was. You live in your village. Remember village life? The village life, you work and you live there in the same place. But no, after World War II, they wanted true engineering. They planned it ahead of time, and they wanted people to have to commute to work because they wanted you dependent on oil and cars and wash machines and appliances. What happened during that time in the 1950s? All these commercials now. Also, you have TV because now TV was now affordable and have commercials. So they wanted you to consume, be consumers, and be enslaved by it. Because now you have to commute to work. There are people who have to drive like 2 hours to work in a car. And then you come back home tired and tired. What happens when you get home tired? You're going to eat. And you're going to eat a lot too. And then now you're not with your spouse all day. You don't see your children. And your kids are forced into public schools. Just look at public schools now. What are they teaching? They're teaching a lot of weird stuff. So now it seems to be the next phase of this control. Because see, civilization is designed to keep you in poverty, what do you call it? In bondage of the system. And your food. Your food always came from the village you lived in. Now the food has to be imported. And what are they doing with the food? They're GMO. So now they're designing the food to change your chemistry in your body. Oh, let me tell you this before I forget. I just heard of this yesterday. Um, there's some of you who have homes, who you bought a house, you had a mortgage. And I heard that they're going to, like, let's say you have property and it gains in value. Well, the government or somebody is going to charge you interest for based on the value increase of your home. It is designed to make you fall. They want to get your house. They want to they want to own your house. So here you thought you had an investment, right? You had this investment, the value of your home increased. So you're all happy about that. I'm not talking about people who sell their house, after it raised in value, and then now you want to sell it or maybe live in a cheaper place or something. You want to get the money. No, I'm not talking about that. If your house increases in value, you have to pay taxes on what that value is. Well, what if you don't have money to pay it? It's like buying an artwork. Let's say the artwork increases in value. Well, the government said, well, you have to pay taxes on what that value. So you didn't actually get the money in your pocket the art, when it increased the value. It just what the market is for, and what the market of it is, you know. So they're saying, well, the market value changed, and if it increased, you have to pay taxes on it. Well, if you can't pay off that money, pay that tax on that value increase, well, they're gonna confiscate your home. I just heard this yesterday. I said to myself, oh, see, glitched again. Find out if it's true. Is it true in your area? So if any of you own homes, find out whether you have to pay, if it increases in value, do you have to, find out. This is horrible. And see, that's the real, what I think what's really going on. They want you, see what happened in 28, I mean, what is that? 2008 with the housing market. See, that was a taste of what they really want to do. In 2008, a lot of people were losing their homes. They sold the mortgage lenders uh, gave out money for people who really couldn't afford to have a home, and they knew what was going to happen. The lender, that in 2008, you had people who were committing suicide because the banks were taking the property. Well, I think the same thing is going to happen now. I mean, I think the pandemic is also, uh, like, if you lose your job, if you can't go to work, and if you own your home, how are you going to pay your mortgage? And I think this is also what the pandemic is all about. It's about acquiring complete control over the people in increments. So if you lose your job, you're not going to be able to pay your mortgage. So they're going to take your property. And then you're going to be the new slave of your environment. You have to you have to beg for, for a favor, right? They might say, okay, you can stay in the house, but now we'll own it. And I think that's what this whole pandemic is all about, in increments. So they're going to take your property, and then now they want the little children to get the jibber jabber jab. They want those little kids with the diaper on their face. What's going to happen to the mental development of these kids? And lack of socialization. If those kids are home and they're not with other little kids, How are they going to socialize and interact? Also with civilization, civilization is to detach us from one another. Let's say like the cell phone. Let's say you're out there, you meet somebody, hey, here's my number. Many people when they don't want to call you, they'll text you. They don't want to talk to people because they're so uh, detached to human contact. They don't want to hear your voice. They rather just text you, real brief. How are you supposed to get to know somebody if you're always behind texting? People aren't meeting each other anymore and talking and having lunch together, having tea or coffee with each other. People are becoming dependent on these devices. They are being seduced and hypnotized by technology. Why are people so detached? This is part of it. They want you to become in love with your devices, but you don't love your fellow human being. You can't relate to people anymore. And I speak of myself as well in this. How often are we really out there? Like I might go outside, but how often do you really get to talk to another human being? Technology is a trap. Technology is a trap for people. Not now you can't even go to church because of this pandemic, right? Some places they threw the pastor in jail because they had a church service. So they don't want you to even talk to, you hear about Australia? They don't want you they tell you you can't even talk to your neighbor. This is what it's all about. This is a hijacking, what they call a restart, a social restart of destruction upon humanity. And those Australians are fighting back. They're fighting back. You have a right to say no to oppression. You have a right to say no. And these people are not medical doctors. How could they tell you what to do with your body? Your health is between you and your physician. And you have a right to say no to any treatment out there. It is your body, it is your right. But they're trying to hijack it and say that they own your body, your rights. No, never relinquish your rights. Your body is yours. It is your inalienable rights to your body. And you have a right to say no. Yes, you have a right to say no out there. Awful. Yeah, it's a hijacking of humanity. But I think the reason why I look at those orbs, why I uploaded the video yesterday on the orbs, is to remind me that that there are things out there we may not fully understand what they are or what the function are, but they're there and they've always been among us, but we weren't aware of it. But now with technology such as the infrared cameras, such as the security cameras, that allows you to see in that invisible spectrum and that they exist. They have consciousness and they see everything. And maybe they're actually watching over us. Maybe they're actually watching over me, protecting me. The very end of that video that I did yesterday on the orbs was really like a finale of the deluge. It was an innumerable number of orbs that came in my room, innumerable amount. It was magnificent. Yes, we're never really alone, and maybe these orbs are really like angels. Who knows? Again, I don't know what they are, but maybe, you know, maybe they're really there to watch over us. That there's always things going on behind the scenes, right, people? There's always things going on behind the scenes that really control what's going on. And if that is so, I proclaim, I respectfully request to watch over me, the benevolent ones to watch over me and my dogs, to keep us safe, to warn us when we need to be warned, to provide, to help me to provide resources to keep me afloat. And I thank you ahead of time for all your assistance. Yeah, there is an invisible world out there, and maybe it's time to get to know the invisible realm, because maybe they are our helpers and could help us, inform us about what's going on in the physical world, because it's crazy out there right now. So I've been on long enough. I thank you for spending the time on this live stream. Let me see if anybody wrote anything in the chat room. Yeah. Yeah, so I thank you, people. I thank you for being here, sharing this live stream with me. Yeah. Um, yeah, somehow just try to get out there in nature. I'm not sure whether I'll go out today because I want to rest my body. But I might go out. I don't know. But either way, be good to your body, eat right, and be good to humanity. And be reminded that you're never really alone. Okay? I thank you again. Peace, love, and joy to you. And listen, look at my little doggie. Say hello. Hi. Yeah. She's saying hello. Yes, that's Lily. So, yes, I thank you for watching. Peace and love to you guys. Each one teach one. And let me know, give me your feedback on the information that I shared today. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.